Alright guys, you know the drill by now. I'll be surviving 100 days in Minecraft Hardcore. But instead of it being on a flat world this time, it's going to be on a normal one. And like last time, I'll be recording from days 1 to 100. And also thanks to Luke the Notable for inspiring this video. And if you guys enjoy these videos, consider subscribing. We're almost to 500 subs. And link to my Discord will be in the description. Here we go, day 1. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, while I was doing my shaders, I managed to find a dungeon, like, right under spawn. I didn't do a set one, so don't worry. I was as surprised as you were. After realizing how easy it was to get wood compared to super flat, I decided to make a safe way to the dungeon just because, you know, it's a dungeon, hardcore. The first day, I think you guys get it. I was kind of sad that I couldn't find any diamonds, but I did manage to find 2 discs and some iron, so it wasn't a terrible start. After jumping around the trees like I was Tarzan, I managed to find a village, which was really surprising because it was actually near spawn, so I didn't have to travel that far. I was really hesitant about staying here just because I wanted to explore a bit further out, but I saw a really nice hillside where I decided that's where I was going to build my house. I holed out a bit on the side of the mountain, knowing that this was going to be my home for the next 99 days. It was day 2, and I kept carving out a hole where my house was going to be. But I don't know why this stupid villager kept just bothering me for no reason. I finished holding where my house was, and decided on stone bricks for the wall, and polished andesite for the floor. It was a new design, but I really thought they went well together. After finishing the floor and walls, I decided to use spruce as a roof, just because it added a bit of a dark shading to the whole room. Next, I wanted to find a decent way to get wood, which lucky enough for me there is. If you put spruce saplings in a 2x2 area and then use bone meal to grow them, they grow into like these really thick and tall trees that you could mine, and gives you like a stack or more of spruce logs. Days 3 to 4, I went ahead and made an area where I was going to mine, mainly because I really wanted to get full diamond as soon as possible. I also went ahead and started mining, but really didn't find anything interesting, just some iron and some coal. Since there was time before the sun went down, I went ahead and started on my villager farm, which is going to be where I could trade and breed the villagers. Day 5 and I'm not dead yet. Since I couldn't finish my villager farm area on the previous days, I decided to continue on day 5. I wanted to go for a similar look like the andesite floors and the stone brick walls. I finished off with making a fence area where the villagers would breed and make babies. Next, I napped up some villagers and put them in my breeding farm against their will. I decided to clear up an area for a farm just because I wanted to feed the villagers, because I'm not a psychopath, guys. I'm not. I just went with the typical farm with just carrots. It's the best way, I think, to feed villagers. On day 7, I went ahead and started breeding the villagers because I know I was going to need a lot of librarians because I really wanted, like, the best enchants possible. After seeing that my villager breeder works, I decided to go work on something else. I actually didn't do anything for the rest of day 7, so we're on to day 8. I was mainly just getting villagers and putting in my trading area, but I tried to use the minecart, but for some reason it wasn't working, so I just used the boat instead. I'd gotten a bit bored of dealing with the villagers, so I decided to go on a mini exploration in the ocean that was near where I was. The only thing I managed to find was an abandoned pirate ship, but it did have a buried treasure map, so I was really excited to go find that. I kid you not, I spent the best of 2 days just trying to find this buried treasure. I don't know why, it just was so difficult to find. But finally, by day 10, I finally saw my cursor on the map move and knew I was really close to it. After I spent a bit of time digging, I couldn't find it, so I just decided to hit a random sand block, and I actually got the chest. The buried treasure actually had some really good stuff in it. It only had 2 diamonds, but hey, it was better than nothing, to be honest. After that, I decided to head back home. I didn't have much going on day 11, but I wanted to make a cow and sheep farm. Day 12, I wanted to separate my sheep and cows into different pens because I didn't want them mixed together. Afterwards, I just broke down trees and traded with the Fletchers. At the beginning of day 13, I wanted to expand my farm so I could grow wheat. It really didn't take that long. All I had to do was cave out a bit of area on the side of the hill so I had enough room. I still had time before nightfall, so I decided to go mining and try to find some diamonds. And crazy enough, I actually did manage to find some diamonds. So my plan was to only mine 3 of the diamonds and then wait till I got fortune on my pickaxe and then use that to get more. By day 14, I finally had a lectern, and I wanted to get Fortune 3 for my pickaxe. But let's just say that Fortune 3 wasn't the first enchant. By this point, it was already day 15, and I wanted to get another librarian to try to get Fortune 3. But it so happens that I saw Prot 4 for 29 emeralds, so... Hey, you can't blame me. I was also trying to go for the best armor as well, not just for best pickaxe. It was day 16, and I was still 0 for 2 for trying to get Fortune 3. But guess what? Mother... Sharpness 5 just shows up out of nowhere, and I had to take it. I had to take it. I'll be honest, I had to take it. I mean, come on. If you guys saw Sharpness 5, I know you guys take it. Don't lie to me. Day 17, after chopping down the trees to get some more sticks for the Fletcher, I tried again for the 4th time to hopefully get Fortune 3. At this point, I was just praying. And my prayers were answered. I finally got Fortune 3. I was so happy I could finally mine the diamonds and just get this over with. But before I could put the enchantment on my pickaxe, I needed iron for an anvil, so I went mining and I luckily found a cave which had lots of iron. By day 19, I had enough iron to get an anvil. So I decided to use the efficiency and fortune 3 and put that on my diamond pickaxe. As for the name of the pickaxe, I put a pretty epic name. After that, I used the pickaxe and went down to the mines to go mine those diamonds. After that, I did a bit of farming and I gave some carrots to the villagers so they could breed some more. And it was on to the next day. On day 20, I finally decided it was time to go to the nether. So I went down to that cave that I found and got some obsidian. I decided to put my nether portal in an open area on the roof just because I wanted to make like a build for it later, but just not right now because I wanted to get some materials from the nether for that first. So I went to the nether with literally a stone sword and a shield. No armor at all, which in retrospect I probably should have had at least some iron armor. And while it may not have spawned me next to another fortress, I actually did spawn right by a bastion. So I built over there with the few materials I had, but then saw one look at it and just decided that I didn't want to die today, so I just left and decided that I'd go back later. Day 21, I didn't really do much, but I did want to get started on a mob farm, so I decided to go ahead and start on that. Over the next few days, I decided to keep working on my mob farm. For this time, I didn't want to make it look all ugly and out of cobblestone, so it took more time, but I used spruce and stone bricks. Another reason it took so long is because instead of watching a tutorial on how to do it, I thought I'd remembered it, so I tried to do it off of memory, and then, as you guys can see, it took way too long. By day 27, I was almost done with the farm. All I needed was to add some hoppers and chests. And the way I had this work is that whenever they fall down, they die. It wasn't necessarily an XP farm, but more of like a looting farm. Day 28, I spent some more time on my villagers and got mending from one of them. I decided to go back to the nether just because I wanted to find a fortress because I haven't found one yet and I really wanted to go find one. But conveniently enough, for some reason, I found another bastion. I don't know what's with me in bastions. I guess it's just I'm really lucky, but I wanted to find a fortress, so I was still a bit mad. Like the idiot I was, I just decided to explore the bastion even though I only had golden boots on. Luckily, I managed to find 2 chests, but the problem is whenever the piglins see you opening a chest or stealing something that's gold, they'll try to kill you. So I went ahead and built a border around it all so they couldn't kill me. Sadly, I didn't find pick step or any ancient debris, but I still got a decent amount of stuff. I also killed this ghast. Suck it, bitch. Over the next couple of days, I decided to focus on my armor just because, like I said, I wanted to get the best armor possible. Luckily, I was able to find some diamonds in the mines, and I used mending and the protection 4 that I got from the villagers, and I enchanted those onto my armor. On day 32, I decided to go exploring in the overworld just because I actually really haven't explored that much. I've actually explored more of the nether than the actual overworld. But I did find a saddle in a nearby spruce village, so that was really cool. Surprisingly enough, I actually found a sand temple too. But in all honesty, it was probably the worst sand temple I've ever found. On day 33, I continued exploring, and I actually used the saddle I found on a horse. But I realized that on the way back home, that there was a big ocean area, so I couldn't take the horse with me just because I didn't have a lead. By the time I got home, it was day 34, but I still had time left, so I decided to expand my house and make a room just for potions. But this time, I decided to use polished diorite as a floor instead of polished andesite, just because I wanted it to feel more laboratory. On day 35, I continued finishing the floor and the walls, and decided to expand it a bit, just because I felt like it was a little small. But luckily, one of the villager houses actually had a brewing stand, so I didn't have to go to the nether and kill blazes to get one. On day 36, I wanted to focus more on trading with my villagers, so I got some 6 and traded with the Fletcher, because I wanted to get looting now for my sword, because I already had fortune for my pickaxe. By nightfall, I still couldn't get looting 3, but I couldn't do it tomorrow because I wanted to get a zombie villager farm going so I could lower the prices of the Fletchers. Like I said, I wanted to lower the prices of the Fletchers, so on day 37, I created a little shack area right by the villager farm so that I could just put villagers in boats and I could put them in the shack. And what I do is I put a zombie there, then they turn into zombie villagers, and then from there I could heal them, and then afterwards their prices should be cheaper. Honestly, I wasn't really planning on going to find the fortress this early in. Well, I guess kind of early. But I realized that, you need nether wart to make potions, so I just decided, hey, why not? And conveniently enough, the fortress was in the one direction I didn't go whenever I found the bastions. Why does this have to happen? I swear. After exploring the fortress a bit, I finally managed to find another wart farm and just decided to get those and get the heck out of there, because I'm pretty sure I didn't have any armor on, whatsoever. But obviously, I forgot blaze rod, so I had to go back to the nether. But first, I wanted to see if I could get looting so it'd be easier and I wouldn't waste time getting blaze rods. I actually got looting, but it was only looting 2, I was still fine with it. But there was still time before the day ended, so I decided to go ahead and go into the nether and go to the fortress and kill some blazes. It was actually actually way easier than I thought because I had looting too. So I didn't spend that long there, but I went ahead and got enough so I could make some Eyes of Ender. Once I finished killing all the blazes, I wanted to go ahead and head back because I wanted to get started on my potions as fast as possible. Over the next 2 days, I went ahead and got some weakness potions and decided to use my Fletcher as my first test subject. After the Fletcher finally became a zombie villager, I trapped him in separate boats because I didn't want the Fletcher like being healed and then the zombie infecting him again. And like, oh my gosh, I don't know why these take so long. I thought these took like a couple minutes, but literally it took a whole day just for the villager to be healed. Good thing they had an achievement for it because I still would have left them for another like 5 days. After getting the Fletcher back where he was supposed to be, I decided to do an even bigger project, and that was to get full netherite. I can't tell you guys how long this took. This was just me going to the overworld, getting wood and wool to make beds, and then going back to nether and just trying to find ancient debris. It felt like centuries. Luckily by day 44 I had enough ancient debris to get some for my chestplate and my leggings, and don't forget my sword. I spent a decent amount of time just going through the nether trying to find all the ancient debris that I could, but I decided to stop whenever I had enough for full netherite armor. On day 49, I realized that the Fletcher I had really didn't have the best trades. So luckily, what you could do is if you turn him into a zombie and then heal him again, his trades will lower in price. On day 50, I realized that my villager trading area was getting kind of full, so I wanted to expand it a bit, but since I didn't really want to expand it outwards, I just decided to expand it downwards. After the zombie villager finally healed, I decided that it was low enough, so I went ahead and brought him back. I continued working on my villager trading area, so my plan was to make it look nice, but also make it still look portable, so it was easy to move villagers around. On day 52, I decided to go ahead and put some villagers in my new area, but for some reason they weren't actually doing the jobs I wanted them to do, so I was very confused on why it wasn't working. I thought it was a glitch with the villagers, so I decided to put another one in, but again, he wasn't working. I don't know what was going on. After realizing that my villagers weren't going to be useful, I decided to, and went to day 53. I had realized that if the villagers were on the top level, that they'd still do trades. So what I did is I took the villagers that I already traded with and put them on the second level and put the new villagers on the first level. On day 54, I decided to get another villager, but make him a cleric this time. Just because if you guys didn't know, the cleric sells ender pearls for emeralds, so it's just better to do that instead of trying to find endermen. Through days 55 to 57, I wanted to go in and find the stronghold just because I actually didn't want to go to the end yet. I was planning to do that later. I just really wanted some books, and if you guys know, the strongholds do have libraries that have a lot of bookshelves, so it's going to be really good. After spending a bit of time, I finally found it, but I couldn't tell you how lucky I was. Right when I got down, literally the portal was right there. After spending a bit of time in the stronghold, I finally found the library and used my axe, and I got all the bookshelves. After I got all the books I needed, I decided to head back. The stronghold was about 1,000 blocks away from my house, so it took me a whole day just to get back. On day 58, I wanted to go exploring in the ocean that was by my house just because I haven't really explored it yet, and I was hoping to find some abandoned ships. Luckily, I did find one, but it really didn't have much, only some lapis and iron, but I had 1 bottle of enchanting XP. I also found some of those underwater structures where drown spawn, and I did find a buried treasure map, but after last time, I was too lazy to go find it. I really didn't want to. On day 59, I realized I was chopping down a lot of trees, but never really had a good axe, so I decided to spend most of my day getting a diamond axe and putting really good enchants on it. In all honesty, even though the Fletchers were selling emeralds for cheaper, I still wasn't making enough emeralds as I wanted to. Then I realized that the farmer sold melons for emeralds, but realized that I didn't have any, so I decided for the next 3 days to go try to find a jungle biome. After spending a bit of time on the ocean, I saw a coral reef, and I was hoping that that means there was a jungle biome nearby. Lucky enough for me, there was a jungle biome. So I got my axe, chopped down the melons and the bamboo, and headed back. On the way home, I actually did find a ruined portal, but it didn't have that much, but I did take the golden blocks. On day 63, I wanted to get started right away on my automatic bamboo farm just because it could craft sticks and that could be used for my Fletcher. The resources for this build wasn't too much. It did take a decent amount of iron though. After I cleared out an area behind my wheat farm, I went ahead and started building my automatic bamboo farm. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not really a redstone guy. I do know generally how this works. Basically, whenever the bamboo grows past the piston, it activates the observer, and then the piston will break the bamboo, causing it to go to the hopper. Now, I didn't really want one of them. I wanted more, like 5 or 6, so I kept expanding it. Now, the only reason this took longer than it should have is just because I don't think there's a tutorial on how to expand this, at least from what I've seen. I just had to use my brain and hopefully it'd work. And lucky enough for me, it did work, so I could finally move on to my melon farm. Because don't forget, I also did get melons. On day 67, I started my melon farm, but I didn't really have that much space, so I carved out a side of a mountain. I wasn't gonna make it that big yet. On day 68, I realized I was gonna be fighting the Ender Dragon soon. I decided to get some more librarians, but this time I wanted wanted to get a really good bow. But I really only needed one more enchant that was power 5, just because I already had Unbreaking 3, and I didn't need Infinity because the Fletcher sells arrows for emeralds. And finally, by the end of the day, I finally got power 5 and could start making an overpowered bow. On day 69, I don't know what I thought. I don't know why I thought this was funny. I was just like, let me just put a big 6'9" on the top of my house and that'd be funny. Day 70, I did nothing. I just kind of stared. I don't know. Over the next 2 days, I wanted to get the Feather Falling enchant just in case the Ender Dragon were to knock me in the air and I didn't have to rely on Water Bucket MLG. But it appears my luck has ran out because the whole 2 days I tried but could not get anything that had to do with Feather Falling. I was actually really aggravated. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've really never done a melon farm, and this just kind of proves it. I thought I put Silk Touch and Efficiency 5 on the pickaxe instead of on an axe, and I was just stupid. So I decided to use the Silk Touch pickaxe I had and use it for like stuff like if I want stone, or if I go to the nether and mine the gold there. But as you guys saw, my anvil did break and I didn't have enough iron to make a new one, so I just decided to go mining. This day will be one of the shorter days because after I went mining, it was already night time by the time I got out, so I just decided to go in and go to bed. For some reason, for days 75 and 76, even in my notes, I didn't put anything and I couldn't even find the recording, so I legit have no idea what I did at all. Luckily, on day 77, I actually did have some footage, but I didn't really do much. I just kind of traded with villagers and made sure my farm was good. I probably should have told you guys this earlier, but for day 78 and 79, I wanted to actually go ahead and get my stuff ready because I was going to go to the end by day 80. After collecting all my things, I started to head out to go to the stronghold. The good thing is, I only needed the Eyes of Ender for the actual portal because I already knew where the stronghold was, so I didn't have to waste them on the way there. After getting to the stronghold, it took me a bit to find, but I actually got to the portal and got ready to go to the end. It finally took a while, but I finally killed the Ender Dragon. But as you guys know, I couldn't forget the egg, so I got a torch and I managed to get it. Ah, the credits. Who cares? In all honesty, does anyone even read the credits or whatever it is? I don't know. I wanted to take a break because I literally just killed the Ender Dragon and I couldn't tell you guys how nervous I was. Also, if you're wondering about the XP levels, I got that from killing the dragon. But anyways, I wanted to do something a bit more simpler, so I decided to expand my melon farm a bit. And I know you guys are probably thinking, well, if it only takes a bit, why is it taking 3 whole days? Well, you know, a bit was a bit, underestimating it. On day 84, I wanted to go explore that bastion. Not the one that I already searched, but the one that I found before that I never went to because I was too much of a wuss. And surprisingly enough, the first chest I found had Pickstep in it. Honestly, I was already content just leaving right then and there, but I wanted to explore it a bit more. So honestly, what I did is just find some of the material there and went back home. I finally decided after going to the bastion and getting all the materials I needed to go ahead and make my portal build. Now, I'll be honest with you, it wasn't the best build. I just kind of thought of it out of nowhere. For me, it was just supposed to be like a cave with like the portal in it, but I will say it wasn't too shabby for me just thinking of it from my head. The next day I realized that this whole time I didn't have an actual staircase going up to my portal, so I decided to go ahead and make one. After that, I forgot I found a lodestone in the bastion yesterday, so I just decided to go ahead and place that. So what it does is that no matter where I am, if I attach a compass to it, it'll always point me where my home was. Over the next couple days, I just kind of wanted to take like a chillaxing day, so what I did is some simple things like just continue with my farm and trade with the villagers. It wasn't anything too crazy. On days 92 to 93, I wanted to get some fireworks because I wanted to do a fireworks show on day 100. So what I did is I got some flowers and got some gunpowder and made some fireworks. I didn't have as many colors as I wanted to. I only had like blue, red, yellow, gray, and I think orange. But other than that, I think those are all the colors that I really needed. Through days 94 to 96, I wanted to expand my house just because I realized that right now I only had like one room and then my potion room. I wanted to expand it up a level so there'd be 2 floors. I really didn't have that much of an idea of what I was going to put up here, but probably just some more storage area. And also that thing in the top right corner. Yeah, just ignore that. You never saw that. After finishing my house on days 97 to 98, I wanted to make like a little throne to watch the fireworks. So I spent most of those days just gathering enough emeralds to make one. On day 99, one day until day 100, I went ahead and set up my fireworks display, which took a bit long just because I needed a lot of redstone. But finally, it was day 100, and it was time to light the fireworks. Yeah, the fireworks show went on way shorter than I thought it would. Yeah. So that's it. I survived 100 days in Minecraft Hardcore. And I know some of you guys were wondering if I could do 200 days on my super flat, but I'll be honest with you, there wasn't really that much you could do. You know, there was no N, which takes off a big chunk of things you could do. There's no ocean, which is also a big thing. So anyways, if you guys do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, and comment down below if you want me to do a 200 days, because these take a long time to put together.